I found my leftist doppelganger. That's right. I literally found the left-wing Vince Dao. Okay, check it out. So this guy is a guy by the name of Victor Shi. I guess he worked for the Biden White House. And he's basically like the Gen Z conservative Asian activist. And let's take a listen here. So he says, don't know who needs to hear this, but talking about wokeness and critical race theory just isn't a winning strategy. Gen Z sees right through it, and it won't work. And here's him on MSNBC. So let's take a listen.
Critical race.
Again, this is the left-wing Vince Dao.
In terms of how it's going to resonate with young voters, I think right now what we're seeing with this Republican field, and even with Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump, is that they're focusing on basically all the wrong issues. I'm wondering, who are the people that they're listening to? It's clearly not the people who are actually on the ground and people who actually care about issues, because they're focusing on things like wokeness and DEI and critical race theory when most of the country doesn't even care about these issues. And so I think a lot of what we're seeing right now from this Republican primary field is just a complete kind of lack of connection to what Americans are actually feeling right now. And it seems to be run more on kind of what they're seeing on Twitter or what they're seeing on Fox News, and not what actually young people and voters care about. And I think that's going to be a very, very steep hill to change in terms of their perception among young voters and seeing these Republican candidates who are actually maybe people who are legitimate and who actually care about us. But I think right now, both Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis and the rest of the Republican field doesn't show me, at least, that they actually care about young people and the issues that we are focused on.
Okay, so first of all, left-wing Vince Dao. I don't know why you green screened yourself onto a bookshelf. I don't. You see, you guys notice this very carefully. Look very carefully. You can tell it's a green screen. Now, I've used a green screen for news hits before. It's perfectly fine. But why'd you green screen yourself behind a bookcase? You couldn't stand behind the real bookcase, or that's the background you chose. I don't know. Very strange. Anyways, besides the point. Here's the thing, left-wing Vince Dao, is that people actually do care about it en masse, right? He goes out and basically says, you know, no, I mean, American people don't care about wokeness and critical race theory and all this different stuff. But showing what I've been seeing from your party and where Republicans do well and not, actually, a lot of the American people do care about it. And that's precisely why you don't want Republicans to care about it. Do you ever notice this? Do you ever notice that, you know, what did they brand Glenn Youngkin when he won his first election? They said he was a culture warrior. What did they say when Ron DeSantis won his reelection? Culture warrior, culture warrior. And yet what you very often see is what? And we talked about this in the last segment, that being a culture warrior actually works for Republicans. All of the best Republican victories in 2022 and 2021 and the worst Democrat losses are all based on the Republicans who properly capitalized off of the culture war. Whereas you see very often the Republicans who do, I guess, as you're trying to psyop them into doing because you're a liberal activist. And so I don't know why we should be taking strategy from you. But what you very often see on the flip side is that the Republicans who do not make effective use of the culture war and just talk about the generic stuff of tax cuts and, I don't know, deregulation, whatever it is, not saying those things are not important, but those do not drive people to the polls, nor do they seem to drive people away from the Democratic Party. What very often is driving people currently, and the reason they are talking about these things is because it's working, it's effective with a lot of people. The reason people are waking up is because of a lot of the wokeness, right? DEI, CRT, the LGBT agenda, all this different stuff. And the reason why you as a liberal are pretending like it is not effective is because you are scared of it. You know it is turning people away. And it is turning the very people away, first of all, that are at least historically important to elections, right? Look at Loudoun County, right, with the school board and stuff. A lot of the stuff you are doing in the schools, it's not just a matter of, oh, rural small town America now is more energetic to be Republican. It's turning away a lot of people who voted perhaps for Obama or for Biden into the conservative camp. And I see this in California, and you see this with the way some suburbs have been trending. But even more so, you want to talk about Gen Z. You say Gen Z doesn't care about this stuff. I would argue the exact opposite. This is, if you want to talk about the number one issue to motivate Gen Z to A, become conservative, or B, if they kind of are naturally conservative, go vote Republican, are cultural issues. Because newsflash, Victor Shi, not leftist Vince Dao, your average college kid out there is not, think about what wakes up your average college kid, makes them conservative, red pills them, whatever. It's generally not tax cuts. Okay, the generic liberal to conservative story in college is not, I thought really hard about tax policy and I decided I think we need a flat tax instead of a progressive tax. That's not what is happening. Usually what happens, it's that they get some crazy professor who says a bunch of stupid nonsense. It makes them more involved in politics. They join college Republicans, Turning Point or whatever it is. And that's how a young Gen Z conservative is made. It is precisely off of the cultural issues. And, furthermore, just think about this logically for a second. And considering how many kids do go to college these days, and you know how the lifestyle is in college, not a lot of them are really thinking about economic issues at the moment. But the things they do notice are the cultural stuff, whatnot, and this and that. And it's very strange that you would say the culture war doesn't affect politics, because all I see from your side with Gen Z, you guys, let's think about this. You guys do not mobilize your youth off of economic issues. You don't go around talking about Medicare or inflation. They don't even understand those things. What do you guys say to your youth, to your base of Gen Z? You guys go around and say, abortion, they're taking away trans rights, all of this stuff. Because you guys know that reaches young people, because young people don't care about economic issues. They should, but truth is they don't even know what that is. But the cultural stuff, either their crazy liberal professor if they're a conservative, or their crazy liberal professor motivating them if they're liberal, that is what, gets young people involved in politics. And so I think on that, you're completely wrong. And, we talked about this. This is true in the last story. It's true again now. The reason why they don't want conservatives to talk about the culture war is because it is such a losing issue for them, right? They wouldn't be scared any other way. They wouldn't be, because the thing is, when you do just campaign on economic issues don't drive people to the polls. They don't really get angry. Think about it for a second, right? The number one driving force in our modern politics, and maybe it shouldn't be like this, but the number one driving force is anger. People vote because they are angry about one person or the other. They're angry at Trump. They're angry at Biden, right? People don't get angry or passionate or inspired by economic issues on either side. They are inspired by cultural issues. And, that's especially true of Gen Z, considering Gen Z don't exactly understand economics yet. They're not really of that age. So, you're completely wrong on that. But yeah, this is left-wing Vince Dao. His name starts with a V. My name starts with a V. We both have a 3-letter name after that I believe is Chinese in origin for both of us. I'm telling you, he's literally Vince Dao, left-wing Vince Dao. So left-wing Vince Dao, my long-lost cousin, Victor Shi, you come home, okay? Come home. We're going to reunite. All right, we haven't seen each other. We're twins separated at birth, okay? He's the evil one. I'm the good one. But we're going to reunite, okay? We're going to make this happen. Hey guys, Vince Dao here. Hope you enjoyed that clip from the Vince Dao show. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And be sure to check out the Vince Dao show live every weeknight here on this channel at 8 p.m. Eastern time. It is a great show. Many are saying this. So leave a like, check out our other clips, and be sure to check out the show. Yeah.